This is Raeleen with Zeke, and today we're going to be working on demonstrating and talking to you about getting your puppy or dog started on a leash. Your tools that you're going to want to use for this is a 6-foot lead and an appropriate sized choke chain for your puppy or dog. So to get yourself ready for working on heel and getting your puppy introduced to the leash is to know that heel is on the left hand side. It is the natural side for the dog to be on. You want to have the dog approximately 8 to 10 inches off the left knee. You want to have the left hand down close to the snap with the knuckles over, and then have the rest of the slack in the right hand. And try to be relaxed. You know, arms are down at the side, hands are loose, there's no tension on the chain, everything's very comfortable. When you first start working with your dog on a leash, you want to keep it upbeat and fun and not expect a whole lot. Don't put a whole lot of pressure on the dog because this is our first time, being introduced to the leash. This is all new, so let's make this a fun experience so that we don't resent further training at a later time. We want to use our voice a lot, pump the dog up, really encourage them to be moving with us. If the pup is a little bit behind you, you really want to use that voice to try to pump them up. You can do slight tugs on the leash, but you can see Zeke's really moving pretty well with Raeleen and interested in smelling the grass, but we're not making corrections for that at this point. We're just trying to get the dog to be comfortable at being on a leash and having to move with us and not go their own direction. So remembering that we want to keep this really upbeat and positive. Now we can start making some slight corrections. So as the pup starts to slow down, put the nose to the ground, Raeleen's making a quick pop on that choke chain and saying heel, so that the dog understands what heel is and to be moving with us and not to be doing any of these other things when we're asking for you to move with us at a nice smooth pace and focus on us. She's also giving the dog a lot of pump up, a lot of praise, trying to encourage the dog to be moving with her and that the training can be a lot of fun. If your dog is not responding to this as well as Zeke is, let's say we're laying down or wanting to kind of really lag behind, don't drag the dog and make this a very unfun experience for the dog. Just really try to pump him up with the voice, make your slight corrections with the chain until you can get him going. So like we've been saying, to make sure and keep this upbeat, really positive, and not expecting a whole lot from the dog right out of the gate. Make sure that you can try to practice this at least every other day, if not every day, and working your way towards getting more progress with the dog. And those first couple of days, just keeping everything kind of really light and relaxed and getting the dog comfortable with what we're doing. After the dog is pretty comfortable about moving with you and paying attention to those leash corrections, then start to change it up a little bit. So first, you walked in a straight line with the dog, got him used to the leash, then you may have went around in a large circle. Now we're going to add just a little bit more to the heel to step it up a little bit and try to get more focus from the puppy. So what we're going to do is go around these cones, and we're just kind of creating these turns to really get the dog focused on us and moving with us when we move, rather than just kind of lollygagging around in a straight line. So right now Raeleen is making left-hand turns. You notice that the chain and the leash are really loose, very relaxed. She's using her voice a lot, talking to the dog, telling him heel and good when the dog is where she likes. You can tell that Zeke, is very relaxed and happy and enjoying what's going on. We're not stressed out. It's a good way to start your training. And then she gives the dog some praise. So verbal praise is equally as important as your physical praise. Voice is very, very important. Sometimes the right hand turns can be a little harder. The dogs tend to lag behind a little bit more. So, really use that voice, lots of pump up. And if you need to, you can take the left hand and kind of pat your hip a little bit and say, hey, 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 to get him moving. So biggest thing here is, we're just trying to redirect that focus on us a little bit. She's making those corrections with the chain. The dog's responding.
Good.
and we're learning, but we're still having fun at the same time. If we're not having fun, we're not going to learn as much. Granted, there's going to be times when everything can't be a lot of fun, but we want to do our best to make sure that the dog is enjoying this so that we can maximize our progress. So this is the starting points for getting the dog used to the leash and focusing on you and starting to make turns with you so that the dog isn't dragging you around on your walks or bumping into you, or you're having to step over the dog. We're, you know, creating this nice system of being able to walk together. Thank you, Raeleen and Zeke.
Thank you.